This is Anne to talk about more beliefs of the inner child. In the first video on beliefs, I focused on three, and now I'm going to add more. The point always is to stimulate in you recognition of beliefs that you don't necessarily know you have. And you may not have the exact variety that using the words I use, but it'll get you started so you can begin to articulate these beliefs that will be useful for you, because then you'll know what the child parts have incorporated into their consciousness, so to speak, and what informs how the inner child operates. And all of this is, as I have mentioned before, in the subconscious. So knowing what these beliefs are will begin to open the door for you to heal the parts holding these beliefs so that you can release them. And for me, it can't be done simply on a conscious level, as I said before, but it's a start. So, as I said, the more you can put it into your own words, the more effectively it will call up memories and times when it seemed to your circumstances reinforce the belief. The ones that I talked about before, I believe, are one, I'm not good enough. Two, I am alone. Three, the world is not friendly. In fact, it's toxic and hostile. There are variations on I am not good enough. I am not worthy. I am unlovable. I'm not important. I'm not deserving. And in the form of, say, not deserving, it calls beliefs about not deserving of love, not deserving of abundance, not deserving of welcome into a group. So when you tag a particular belief to circumstances, you begin to tie in how you experience that belief. Another one is, I have to be perfect to be loved. This is clearly seen, tied to the strategy of perfectionism. So, how does a child come to the idea they need to be perfect? Well, for some of us, when we were wounded in childhood, we got the idea we weren't good enough. But perfection didn't come up for us. But for some, it does. So that the whatever they do has this pressure of push to do more, to do better, always much more effort and no rest from whatever you started. Or if you have a belief you need to be perfect to be loved, at some point with some people, you might just get the idea that you should just quit. Don't even get started, because you know if you have to be perfect to be loved, and that's too much, why begin in a relationship? Another belief is If I ask for help, I will be disappointed or abandoned. This, as you can see, is tied to the idea of strategy of self-reliance, super self-reliance. Because if you ask for help and help doesn't come, it'll hurt. So the young baby is asking for help. When the baby is crying out for comfort or warmth, for a change, for food, just to be held. And since that was disappointed often enough, not sufficiently met, the child part holds the view there's no point in asking for help because it only brings pain of disappointment. So there's that belief. Another is, I have to take care of others to be worthy, clearly tied to the people pleasing, where what this has in common with people pleasing is the idea that you turn away from yourself rather than know your heart and what it needs, because it was denied before. So the way to get that love in the immature mind is to see if you take care of other people's love, needs, that is, they'll love you in turn. However, because it is a coping strategy, it's not an effective strategy. It has the spirit of neediness. I need love, and so I'm doing this. It's not coming out of a heart that is generous and taking care of the needs for others, of others. Another belief is, if I fail, it means I'm a failure. My variation on this is, if I make a mistake, it's disastrous. Excuse me. So, what does this mean when you have this belief? It means that you don't try too much, especially new things, because you might fail. And if you fail, you have evidence that you're a failure. So why even start? So you procrastinate. You don't see through on projects because the idea of failure is close by. So you can see how limiting these beliefs are. If I make a mistake, it's disaster. Or if I try and I fail, it means that I am a failure. I had the experience, I hope I haven't mentioned it before, but it's okay, of being in Hawaii at my mother's home with my second husband. I had locked the keys to the car when we had all left the kitchen. Therefore, we could not go into the house nor into the car. My husband was really angry. And my mother, in her wisdom, said, everyone makes mistakes, you know. I got it. I calmed down from being frantic because I had made a mistake. And that's what wisdom does, just as a side note. When someone utters a truth, you remember the truth because that truth is in you. And in remembering, it brings a calm when you connect with wisdom. So in that garage, I calmed down and figured out how I could retrieve the keys. But I'll forever be grateful to my mother for uttering that wisdom, counter to the belief that if I make a mistake, it's a disaster, or if I fail, it means I'm a failure. Another belief is love has to be earned. It's not freely given. So if you approach friendships, relationships, romantic relationships with the idea or the belief that you need to earn it, whatever is in your resources of what it means to earn the love will be there as your script, what you should do. So, one person's idea of earning love may mean to be generous materially. So he or she can take you out on to great dinners or wonderful events, bring you activities and gifts in their generosity, trying to earn your love. It's not, the expectation is that it's not freely given. What else about this? When you don't believe that love is freely given, it puts you into the mindset of scarcity. In a world of oneness, in a world where everyone or most people are attuned to the divinity that is in our world, if we could be aware and connect with it, this divinity is love, always present, always there to be embraced, absorbed, so that you can feel the gift of that. This reminds me of the story from the Bible of the prodigal son. Do you remember that story? In that story, two sons at least were given their inheritance. And one son was very, very careful with his inheritance and scrupulous, whereas the other son went off and squandered it all. And he was living with very limited means. Then he realized that he could go back to his father's home. And as he came home, the father embraced him, because no matter what the son did, the father loved the son. So by coming home, the son was able to partake in this generously given love. And that's how, from my point of view, the universe is. Divinity is there as love, always present. So if you find a way of connecting to that God of your heart, you will feel a love that is freely given. And when you experience that, it helps your heart to grow so that you can transfer, you can absorb and give out that energy or the love that is freely given. So you have dissolved the strength of that belief, which is one way of releasing these beliefs. Another is, if I trust, I will be hurt. This is a pervasive belief running through practically all of the other beliefs. It's because The young child's heart was broken when their needs were denied, neglected, not understood, or seen. The child lost trust in life, lost trust in adults and people in general. It stamped this self-belief, if I trust, I will be hurt, is indelible in the inner child. So it's an important issue to look at and to see in what ways you have this. This morning, I did an exercise with a group where I asked them to look at the world, climate change, the wars in Ukraine, in the Gaza Strip, in Lebanon, everywhere, that difficulties are very, very severe. When you look at those disasters, do you trust life? Do you trust that humans are worthy of trust? So, if you sit with that, you'll realize that it stirs up a heaviness, it stirs up fear, it stirs up sadness, bringing up the original wound of when your trust was broken. So, my point in going over these beliefs is to help you expand what limiting beliefs you might find working in your life. Remember, if you don't become conscious of these beliefs that limit you and find a way of dissolving the hold in the subconscious it has on you, they govern your script. They are reflected in who you are and how you live. So I hope that this expansion on beliefs is helpful to you in finding signs of the inner child.